أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على حي على حي على حي على إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الحديث هدي النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. As we are in this blessed month of Ramadan, we see a renewed sense of spirituality among the Muslims. The Muslim Ummah is fasting this month. The masajids are filled with worshippers. The Quran is being recited frequently, and acts of worship has increased. This is a beautiful time when the hearts become softened and everybody gets closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. However, it is crucial to remember that righteousness is not just in the act of worship. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لَيْسَ الْبِرَّ أَن تُوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ قِبْلَ الْمَشْرِقِ وَالْمَغْرِبِ. He says that righteousness is not just turning your face east or west. وَلَكِنَّ الْبِرَّ مَنْ آمَنَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. But being righteous is a person who believes in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His books and His prophets. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions before ibadah, He was talking about iman with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, iman with the book and iman with the prophets. Then He jumps وَآتَ الْمَالَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ ذَوِ الْقُرْبَى وَالْيَتَامَى وَالْمَسَاكِينَ. Then He talks about who gives charity out of their cherished wealth to relatives, orphans, the poor, the needy. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about iman, then He jumps directly to helping those who are in need. And this is where we have to understand what Islam really is. It consists, Islam subhanahu wa ta'ala, Islam is so beautiful, it's so beautiful, it's just not about ibadah. Right? Everyone wants to enter paradise, but we should know, we should recognize and be aware of the different ways we can enter paradise. There are 8 doors of paradise, right? There are 8 doors of paradise. There's the bab of salah, the bab for prayer, the bab of jihad, the bab of fasting, the bab of fasting called Rayyan, the bab of sadaqah, the gates of al-hajj, the kadhimin al-ghayth, the gates of controlling one's anger, and the gates of dhikr, and the gates of tawbah. These are the gates of paradise. That, this is the avenue to get to paradise. For some of us, we are better than others in worship. Some of us, we can worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's easier for us. Some of us, it's easier for us to make dhikr than another. For some of us, we can control our anger better than others. So these are gates of paradise. But some of us, we are able to give money. And this is the bab of sadaqah. And this is what I want to talk about today. So, these babs, there are 8 ways to get into paradise. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, he is one of the Sahaba that is blessed to enter through all these babs, all these gates. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among those who enter paradise through all the 8 babs, gates of paradise. A sadaqah, the gates of paradise, of sadaqah, is reserved for those whose hearts are open to giving. Imagine the moment when you're in the day of judgment and you are called by the angels. It's your turn to be judged, and you're called by the angels to enter to this great gate of paradise called Bab al-Sadaqah. And the only reason you are entering this gate is because you are generous. You have opened up your hearts to giving to the masajids, giving to the needy, giving for the ummah, for the benefit of the ummah. And because you give to the benefit of the ummah, the malaika will call you to enter through these gates, the Bab al-Sadaqah. The path to this gate is not limited to the people who are wealthy. You don't have to be rich to enter through these gates. It is open to anyone who is sincere. And he gives for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, save yourself from the hellfire. saved yourself from the hellfire. Even if you have to give a half a date. Even if you have to give a half a date in charity, save yourself from sadaqah. So you see, you don't have to be wealthy. You don't have to be given hundreds and thousands of dollars, but you give whatever you can with true sincerity, and this will open up the doors of the Bab for you, the gates of paradise. If you realize the beginning of Islam was not just about praying or fasting or giving zakat. It was more about iman. It was more about iman because in the beginning of Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَا يَحُضُّ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينَ in Surah He does not encourage feeding the poor. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَيُطْعِمُونَ الطَّعَامَ عَلَى حُبِّ مِسْكِينَ وَيَتِيمَ وَأَسِيرًا, and they give food in spite of love for it. They give it to the needy, to the orphans or the captives. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَوْ إِطْعَامٌ فِي يَوْمٍ ذِي مَسْغَبَةٍ يَتِيمًا ذَا مَقْرَبَةٍ أَوْ مِسْكِينًا ذَا مَتْرَبَةٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, it is the freeing of the slave, or feeding a person in a day of their hungry, or feeding an orphan or a relative or the needy person in misery. Notice all these verses were revealed way before as-salah. These verses were revealed in the beginning of Islam. As-salah didn't come until the story of Isra al-Mi'raj. Fasting wasn't revealed to us until the second year of Hijrah. Zakat wasn't revealed to us until the second year of Hijrah. Hajj wasn't revealed to us until the 9th year of Hijrah. But all these other things about loving and caring for the community, caring for the society, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought first. So you see where this is going. Islam is more about your iman and getting closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And one of the greatest ways to getting close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Opening your heart and being generous for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه غفور رحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. We must ask ourselves, sincerely ask ourselves, are we feeling our duty towards the community? Are we feeling our duty towards the poor people, towards the needy people in our community? Right? Ramadan is not only a time for individual worship, but it is a time for us to reconnect with our responsibilities towards the society. We must use this blessed month to reflect on how we can be better in our character, in our generosity, and helping each other. You never know, the person next to you may be in so much need, but he won't tell you. So this is why it's our duty to go out in the community and look for those who are in need. Because wallahi, when they are in need and you help the person out, someday when you are in need, you will see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will come and help you. He will help you out. He will bless you. Because you help somebody in need. We must use this blessed month to reflect on how we can help the needy in our community, and to better our neighborhood, to better our community, to better our masjid, to strengthen the ummah. As the Prophet ﷺ was asked, he was asked, Ya Rasulullah, what is the best deed? أحب الناس إلى الله. Who are the best people to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Who are the people whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves the most? The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam replied, أحب الناس إلى الله أنفعهم للناس. Listen, أحب الناس إلى الله أنفعهم للناس. The most loved people in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are those who are most beneficial to others, so beneficial to mankind. Those are the ones whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves the most. And then the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was asked, well, he says, وَأَحَبَّ الْأَعْمَالُ إِلَى اللَّهِ, and the most loved deed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, سُرُورٌ تُدْخِلُهُ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِ. He says, سُرُورٌ تُدْخِلُهُ عَلَى أَخِي مُسْلِمٍ. He says, happiness, the best deed that a person can do is when you put happiness in your Muslim brother. You put happiness in your Muslim brother, or you remove some of his troubles. If he's going through troubles, you take his hand, you help him out, and you get him out of his troubles. Or you pay his debt. You know, one of the biggest things is when people have debt, they struggle to pay when you're paying off his debts. Or feeding the hungry. So these are some of the greatest deeds that a person can do that pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in the same hadith, he said, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, لَإِنْ أَمْشِعَ بِأَخِي Muslim. He says, I would rather walk with my Muslim brother in need. I will walk with a Muslim brother in need. Ahabbu ilayya is more loved to me than me making i'tikaf in Masjid Nabawi for a whole month. Solving the problems of your Muslim brothers and holding his hands and helping him through this problem, it is better than making i'tikaf in Masjid Nabawi for a whole month. As the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this is how important it is to know our community, to know the society, and to be willing to open up and help those in need. My brothers and sisters, we are all writing our own destiny. You know, we never know how much longer we are going to live in this earth. With our deeds, if we wish to be called through the bab of sadaqah, this is the month that we should try to open up our hearts and give whatever you can. Give to the masajid. We're going to have a fundraiser for the masjid. Get ready to give to the masjid. Give to the needy. Give to the orphans. Give to the widows. This is the time. If we cannot open our month in this month of Ramadan when all the shayateens are shackled up, think about it. When can we open up? Brothers and sisters, I am standing in front of you on behalf of Iqna Relief. This is the organizations that I've been working with for the past few years. You know, it's a great organization, and one of the greatest projects that we have. One of it is our food pantry, just a few blocks in there. We give food to the needy families all the time. But the biggest program that we have is our women's transitional home. Our women's transition home, we found sisters who are homeless with their children. And we put them in the home, and they don't stay. They stay in the home for free. We give them food and everything until we find them a job, until we find them a home, and then they are living as regular Muslims. They're living regular Muslims. Last year, with the help of the communities, we were able to help 31 sisters and 78 children off the streets of Seattle. There are so many Muslim sisters and children on the streets who are living in the streets, in the bus stations, in their car. SubhanAllah, you'll be shocked how many people. We helped 31 Muslim sisters and 78 children who were living on the streets. Now they have their own home. Now they have a job. SubhanAllah. One case, she was telling us, this is a sister, she was living in her car. She was living in her car, and you know, every morning, you know what she would do? Her and her children, they would drive to Walmart. Because Walmart opens up early in the morning. So she would drive to Walmart and park in the Walmart parking lot and wait for Walmart to get open. When Walmart opens up, they go straight directly to the bathroom. They use the bathroom, they freshen themselves up, they make wudu, and they come out and pray Salat al-Fajr. Sometimes they have to pray late. if they don't have a place to make wudu, then Walmart opens a little bit late, and sometimes Fajr is early, you know. So they wait in front of the Walmart in their car, 3 children, in the winter, waiting for Walmart to open so they could go inside Walmart and make wudu and come outside and pray. This is just one of the stories that we have. There are so many more stories, brothers and sisters. So please, after the Salah, inshallah, I will be making a small plea, a little fundraiser for the sake of our sisters who are in need, our transitional home. So please support whatever you can, as much as you can. And remember, even the little will help you on the day of judgment. Imagine you give, and on the day of judgment, you are being judged. And then this woman comes, a woman you don't know who she is, with her children, and she witnessed that because of your sadaqah, because of you helping her, she witnessed for you, and then you enter paradise because of your generosity. So brothers and sisters, let's open up our hearts for these sisters who are not recognized. Nobody knows who they are. If we go on the streets, you will see there's so many people. I feed the homeless on the weekends. You'll see many Muslims that are taking the food that we are giving them. More Muslims than non-Muslims who are homeless. SubhanAllah. So we have to recognize this because they are a part of our ummah and they are a part of a community. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين وذل الشرك والمشركين ودمر أعداءك أعداء الدين اللهم تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم اللهم تقبل صيامنا وقيامنا وزكاتنا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وأقيموا الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا